The shaft is small like the early version 700s, but they did not upgrade the shaft on this train at all. It still stayed the small version, where they did upgrade the shaft 2 different times on the 700 to the 4L60E, and then the 4L65 they went to a totally bigger shaft too in another video that I showed you. Now they still have a lockup solenoid here. You have your 4th gear switch here that tells the computer that the train is in 4th gear, so it can lock the torque converter up. Get your valve body bolts out of here. Now this tranny here is still operated by a TV cable that goes up to the carburetor just like a 700. If that cable is left loose, this tranny will burn up just like a 700. And if it is out of an adjustment, it will do the same thing. It will burn up. So you still have your small check balls and stuff like that. You have your orifices for your check balls, and where you can enlarge these holes and make the tranny shift how you want it to shift. Now this tranny still has the intermediate accumulator piston and spring, just like your 700 does. Fluid comes in here, pushes down that piston, cushions the 2nd gear shift, which is this band that is right through here. I will show you here in a little bit in the video. Now, this tranny here has a 4th gear accumulator piston and spring too, to soften the 4th gear clutch. So it is backwards in here. I'll get it out and show you. But it's still the same purpose, where it pushes on the piston to soften the band, or soften the clutch. Now this tranny here actually has a governor that controls how fast, how early, and how late this transmission shifts. So basically, when the drive shaft turns, which slides into here, turns this gear here, turns this gear, it spins this and throws these little weights and springs out right here. So we can change these springs right here and change how early the 2nd gear comes in, and how early or how late the 3rd gear comes in, so we can fine tune this tranny to where we really want it to. Now this will not change the whole gear pattern, but your cable will. Your cable will change them all up and down, but it will not separate them. This is how you separate them. If your 3rd gear comes in on top of your 2nd gear, then you're going to have to change your spring here to move that 3rd gear away from 2nd gear. Your cable will not do that. So that's how we do that, to fine tune these things. These turbo cars that we do a lot of, we really got to fine tune them. These are your feed bolts right here to your 4th and your 3rd gear clutch. You can apply air through here. When we rebuild these trannies back, we'll air check through these holes and make sure all of our passages are airtight to our drums. That way, if we do have to change the shift field or shift concern, we won't physically have to go into the unit to change it. We can come in here and enlarge a hole, or change our accumulator spring, or something like that. So you can see how these bolts are hollow. And then it screws down into these supports down in here. Not many changes were done to this pump right here. The only changes that were physically done was later on when they did a 13 vein upgrade to the 4L60E tranny. And so we can actually upgrade this pump by putting a 13 vein 4L60E pump rotor down inside in here. We get these units in a lot with this little oil hole right here plugged up. It actually goes in here and lubricates this washer right here against this drum, and it don't take but just a microscopic piece of trash to plug that up, and you can see how it'll start blistering this washer right here, and it'll slowly melt it up because the spray just comes to a halt, and this washer just keeps on rubbing right here and burns it up right here. So here we just have like a 7-vein pump. It's just a standard pump. I mean, they didn't do any upgrades. They made some better steels and rings right here, pump rings, the stainless ones, but we always upgrade them back to the 13-vein, and makes it a really nice pump. You really want to look for wear on these really bad, because they do wear. A lot of these trannies are alike. When you lay them down and compare them side to side. This is your overdrive clutch right here in a 204R. They're not very big. There's only the two. They put two steels together like this to keep the heat penetration down between the two clutches, because there's only two clutches in the overdrive section. It actually works pretty good. You can put a red line clutch in there and it works even better. This is your engine brake clutch right here. There's going to be a sprag in here, or actually a roller clutch, where this spins one way and locks the other. And it's just a 2-clutch system. So when you let off the gas in overdrive, you'll get your engine brake pull down, and that's what you're feeling right here. Here's your overdrive sun gear. Going to make sure how you put that down there, because see how that's chamfered and see how that's flat? You want to put it down on there. Don't matter how it lines up to the lube holes, but you want to make sure your flat goes against that snap ring right there, not your bevel. See how you got a bevel right there? Make sure that's right, because if not, it sets down in there farther if you put it the wrong way. Okay? And then you set in here like this. See how that spins that way and locks? It will not turn back. Locks. So some of these snap rings are really hard to get out. I make it look easy. Some people take them a week. I mean, trying to. What I'm pulling out right here is called a center support. It just helps support everything in the center of the tranny, the way it's designed. It's got your 3 sealing rings here for your reverse and your third gear, because your third gear drum always is part of your reverse in every tranny. You've got to remember that. So this is your forward clutch here. Now when we rebuild these back, usually I think we can only get about 5 or 6 in these, but you can buy a 9-clutch Alto Red and put in here. And see, you can see this one here has already burnt the clutches out of it. This thing, it has no mileage on it at all. The passenger cable was misadjusted. It was all messed up on the car, so it had no pressure when it made its shifts. So this is the forward clutch here that moves the vehicle forward. It's just a 4-clutch system. Now it does have the wave plate in it when you put it into gear, so it doesn't bang. If you took and put just a flat one in here and took this out, when you put it into drive, you wish you wouldn't have. So you always want to go back with a wavy forward plate. The clutches are the same. Your forward and your third gear clutch are the same identical clutch. They'll go back and forth. So here we get into the second gear band issue I was talking about on this tranny. It's kind of like the 700. They got a band issue to it, and GM won't take care of it. This is our beefy band that we put in all of our 4L60Es. It's a great big old band. And this is the 204R band. If you bought a high performance band, this is what you're going to get. If you set this band on this drum right here, it only covers 3/4 of it, like that. What we do, we take the 700 4L60E band and we physically use it. If you look, it covers the whole band, or excuse me, the whole drum right there. What we do, we come in here and we shave this anchor off right here, and then we will cut this band down, and then we will cut this anchor off this band, and we will TIG weld that anchor onto this band right here. We've done this multiple times, and it just makes this tranny so much livable. I mean, I got guys making 700-800 horsepower in these Buicks, and this band right here just covers the whole drum. You can't see it. I don't know why they haven't changed it, but we do put about 3 hours or so into making this band like that, because that's the only way to do it compared to that. I mean, so once you put the big band in here and you put the 9 clutch third gear, what a different tranny. Not a different tranny. Well, these snap rings are really tough to get out. Okay, get back to it. See this number on this spacer right here? This is called a lube washer. This goes down here in this shaft right here and connects to the forward drum right here through this lube hole. If you leave that washer out, then you just lost lubrication going to the very back of the tranny right here, because this transmission lubricates from the front to the rear. So that washer is selective. When you build it back, you want to make sure you put the right one in there. If not, the exact same number. That way you know. Now this tranny here also has another in-plate check right here. This washer right here is selective. They come in multiple thicknesses, and that's physically how you set the end play up from right here in the back. I get them in there all the time. You can grab that shaft and they'll hit the rear bushing, because whoever builds them don't know how to set up end plays. So that shaft back there, when this tranny is built, it will not wobble. It'll stay stationary in the bore back there, and that's how the end plate needs to be set up. This is your forward Planetary. They did no changes to this. It's always been a 4-pinion. Now you can see we do have a little bit of washer wear here. And you can see a lot of daylight through here. This planet is got a lot of wear. See right here, it's real thin. So we'll definitely be putting a forward planet in it. This was a #1 killer for this tranny too. backing it up, putting it in drive before you come to a stop. This is your forward sun gear right here, and this is called your sun gear shell. So you would knock this back and forth when you shifted it into reverse and drive, and it'll strip this right here. They come out with hardened ones to make them last a lot longer. Get that big off there. Sometimes I kind of get in a hurry because I don't want to make these videos forever, or not forever, but last too long for you guys. But see here, it just strips this out. That's from dropping it from reverse to drive, right there, or from drive to reverse, either way. Without coming to a stop, it just jerks it around real hard. The new one we put in here is hardened. It tries to eliminate a lot of that.
Don't move it.
But you can, when you stick it in here, you can, it's almost stripped. Now this shell here, I didn't want to say, it does have a thrust washer back here that also is selective. You can put the plastic one in it. They do make metal ones that we always go back with, especially if it's going to be a high horsepower unit. We'll get all the plastic out of these trannies that we can get and go back with bronze or brass or whatever we put in there. This tool here you got to have to get the support out and put it back in the way it grabs it. They make them for the 125 front wheel drive and the 200. This tool is so antique, I'll probably take it to my grave with me. Now what I'm pulling out here is the low reverse clutch. This clutch comes on in manual low and in reverse. And we'll show you here. These clutches are really bad about peeling. But like I said, this tranny I think has been rebuilt before. Oh, it's probably been rebuilt before, but these look like the original clutches. Looks like maybe a car lot unit or something, maybe. It's hard to tell, but them definitely ain't new. Them are really, really old. Now look at your thrust washers and see how they look. This is your low Planet, but you do have a sprag right here. Spins and locks one way. Definitely want to look at your race. So this is what a 204 looks like compared to a 700 R4. We'll get the band cut up and get it made and get the 9 clutch third gear and stuff like that for it, and get it back in the car. It goes in a 65 GTO that's really nice, so we definitely want to build him a really nice unit. So I tell you, stay tuned, but go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you very much.